Hi, so good to
Hello
meet you.
everyone, my name is Abdullah Marketing Wala and I am student of Rehan College, and today I am with Sisam Maya on the topic of the benefits of learning a new language. Thank you so much Maya for joining me today.
Hey, Abdullah. Nice to meet you too, and thanks for having me on your show about language learning. Behan College. Sounds like you've got a pretty solid topic picked out there. Learning languages really does have a ton of perks.
Okay Maya, my first question is what do you think learning a new language is important in today's global world?
Honestly, it feels pretty essential now, not just nice to have. The world's just smaller than it used to be thanks to the internet and travel. Knowing another language breaks down barriers instantly. When you can actually connect with people in their own language, you pick up way more than you ever would through translation. You get the nuances, the humor, the real culture. Plus, being able to work or study abroad becomes way easier. It's not just about job opportunities either. I've heard people connect so deeply with others when they learn a language from where their ancestry comes from. What do you think? Why is it important to you as a student?
Okay, Maya, my second question is how does learning a new language improve communication skills?
That's a really interesting question. It's not just about being able to speak more languages. Actually, learning another language forces you to become way more aware of communication in general. For example, you start paying attention to grammar and how structure actually impacts understanding, stuff you probably take for granted in your first language. It forces you to think about your audience too. How do they interpret things versus you? When you're learning Spanish, you may have to become more literal. Plus, I've heard you become better at your native language when learning others. You see how things work from a totally different angle. Does that make sense?
Okay, Maya, my next question is in what ways can learning an other language boost career opportunities?
Oh, there's so many ways. The boost can be pretty significant. Obviously, bilingual employees are a huge asset for companies that do business internationally. But even within your own country, demand for bilingual people is climbing, especially in things like customer service, healthcare, education, government, that sort of thing. Some industries actually pay a premium for knowing specific languages, especially ones like Mandarin, Arabic, or German. Even if the job description doesn't explicitly ask for another language, being able to say you're fluent, that sets you apart. It shows you're adaptable, a quick learner, and you can connect with people on another level. What field are you thinking about going into with your studies?
Okay, Maya, you are very great answering. My next question is what impact does learning a new language have on brain health and memory?
Actually, you stumbled on one of the coolest parts. It's seriously good for your brain. I've heard that learning a new language builds up what they call cognitive reserve, kind of like a backup system for your brain. It can delay the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's by years. Plus, it just makes your brain more flexible in general, better at multitasking, problem solving, even everyday tasks. Your memory gets a workout too. You're constantly recalling vocab, grammar rules, trying to amen indeed. So, what languages are you working on right now, if any? What
Okay, Maya, my next question is how can learning a language improve problem solving and critical thinking skills?
That's a smart question. What? When you're learning a language, you're constantly decoding patterns and figuring out the logic of grammar. Even something like figuring out a tricky sentence structure or the best way to say something involves a lot of problem solving. Plus, languages don't always translate directly. You have to think creatively about how to express concepts that just don't exist in the other language. It's like giving your brain an extra workout. I've heard it's similar to doing mental puzzles. Keeps your brain sharp and makes you think differently about complex things.
Okay, Maya, very great answer. My next question is: in what ways does learning a new language help you understand other cultures better?
One, this might be the biggest one, honestly, because language isn't just about words. It's a window into a whole culture's way of thinking. What's considered polite or rude, what jokes work. The entire worldview can come through in the language itself. When you can actually read novels, watch films, or have conversations with people in their native language, you pick up layers that just don't exist in translation. Even the way sentences are structured or how people use metaphors can give you this insight. It's about understanding their humor, their values, their history, what matters to them. Have you ever traveled anywhere where you knew even just a little bit of the local language? Did it change your experience at all?
Okay, Maya, my next question is: how can learning a second language increase confidence and self esteem?
That's something I've heard from people a lot, actually. There's something about tackling something challenging, like learning a whole language and actually making progress, that really builds confidence. It's like unlocking this whole new ability that you didn't have before. You went from zero to being able to hold a conversation or read a book or understand a movie without subtitles. That's a pretty huge achievement. I've heard people say it makes them more willing to take risks in other areas of their lives too, like trying a new job or traveling somewhere alone or making new friends. Shows you can actually learn something challenging, so it makes you feel like you can probably do more than you thought.
Okay, Maya, my next question is: how can learning a new language help students perform better academically?
I think you said accommodately, you might have meant academically. If so,
Yes,
yeah, it definitely seems like, okay, no problem. Learning a new language can definitely help you academically because you're already paying attention to grammar, structure, how words work. It actually reinforces those skills in your first language too. Your writing might get stronger because you're thinking about sentence construction differently. Even things like vocab in different subjects might become easier to pick up. I've heard it also boosts analytical skills, like in math or science, because of all that decoding and pattern recognition you're doing when you learn a language. Plus, if any of your studies involve reading foreign texts or researching other cultures, you're already ahead of the game.
Okay, Maya, you are very great answering. My next question is: how does learning a language at a young age differ from learning it as an adult?
That's a fascinating question. Kids definitely have an advantage. Their brains are like sponges during certain periods and they pick up sounds naturally in a way adults struggle with. But here's a funny thing I've heard. Adults might actually be faster initially with the grammar and rules part. That's because they already have a solid linguistic framework to build on. Kids are better at picking up accents, though. What's really interesting is your motivation. When you choose to learn as an adult, it's by choice. That drive makes a huge difference. Which group do you fall into? Do you see yourself as someone who started young or an adult learner?
Okay, Maya, my last question is: how can learning a new language change the way you see the world?
That's such a big question. I love it. It really does change your perspective. Each language doesn't just have different words for things, it shapes how concepts are categorized and prioritized. Some languages have nuanced terms for emotions we might only lump into one concept. Other languages might not even have a word for things you take for granted in your own language. It expands your mindset. You start to realize there's more than one right way to think about or solve problems. It's like seeing through a new lens, and once you've seen the world that way, it's
Okay.
exactly. You're seeing more of what's possible with your own brain, but also what's possible in your life overall. It's pretty powerful. So, how about you? Is there anything that changed for you once you started learning English?
Okay, thank you so much, Maya, for joining me today. And today, our topic is the benefit of learning a new language. I am very happy to learn this topic. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much,
much.
guys, for watching this video.